everybody, Adam here with Hometown Acres. Welcome back. As you just saw, we just got all of our firewood restocked in the garage here after that cold Christmas snap. I usually like to wait for a day or two of nice windy, dry, sunny weather before I go ahead and pull the firewood in. This was kind of an exception because the next 7 days we're supposed to get a ton of rain. So there was still snow sitting on top of these baskets of wood, but I wanted to get them in here. Another thing I try to do is always have at least one basket on reserve so I know I have good dry wood in the garage while the other two are thawing out in here. But while I was moving the wood into the garage, it got me thinking we really haven't talked about how the garage is working out in terms of firewood storage since we built it. That was the whole plan for attaching the house to the garage, was we'd have easy access to firewood, be able to bring it in the IBC totes with the tractor, not have to touch it, not have to put a coat on, more importantly, to go out and get firewood to feed the wood stove. So I wanted to show you guys that real quick. So we just brought this basket in. It's still wet from snow. This is a basket of kindling that we get from the Yappa 365. And what I like to do is all the kindling scraps that are left in the dump trailer after I stack the trailer is I put all that into a basket and I have a limitless supply of kindling to keep me going all winter long. Where that's really important is in the fall and spring. You know, in the wintertime, we're pretty much running the stove 24/7, but in the fall and spring, the shoulder seasons, where it's getting up to, 35, 40, 45 degrees during the day and the sun is out, usually we'll let the fire go out during the day and then restart it again in the evening and in the morning. So there's just a lot more restarting fires, and that's where that comes in handy. But yeah, this probably won't get touched a whole lot between now and, the end of February. Here's another basket that we just brought in, and then like I said, this was my reserve basket that I'm just now starting to tap into while these two baskets are drying out. So once I burn through these two, I'll go get two more and start using that one. That's kind of the rotation here. But yeah, this garage is working out perfect. As you can see, we still have plenty of room for both of our vehicles. We've got the four-wheeler, the side-by-side, the snow blower, and the addition of Anderson's new vehicle over there, the little Jeep Power Wheel. But I did want to show you guys just how easy it is to come out here, and the whole plan with this was to be able to grab firewood, walk directly into the house, and I'll show you where the wood stove is. That's how close the wood stove is to the garage there, just right through the mudroom. And so we don't have to go outside, don't have to put shoes on, no coat, bring it in here, throw it in the hopper there, and we're good to go for a fire for a while. Speaking of updates, I just realized walking through the mudroom here that I never showed you guys what the finished product looked like in here. So you guys saw me build this one. We did a video on that haul tree, and I said that we were going to build a second one that was going to be an L shape on this side, but I wasn't going to film it because it was going to be pretty repetitive, pretty much the same thing as this side. But there you go. That is what the finished product looks like. We have all of our trim work done in here. This room is finally done, and as you can see, we have moved in. It's working out great. Everything we need to go out the door, go bags, diaper bags, hats, sunglasses, coats, shoes, car seats, all that good stuff is housed out here. Boot dryer, just a really nice big open area to take off your hat and coat and shoes and get ready to come inside. So I did have something else planned for this video, but we're kind of on a roll for just giving regular updates. And I think next on the list is I want to go outside and take a look at the pond, look at our water level, and show you guys what's changed in the last 30 days. So here is the update on the pond. I have come to realize that my feelings towards the pond rise and fall with the weather. This summer and fall, when we had virtually no rain, I was feeling extremely discouraged. And the last couple weeks have been pretty wet around here. We've had a lot of rain, a lot of snow melt. And like I said at the beginning of this video, we have 7 more days of rain coming starting tomorrow. And so that's going to give me a lot of hope that this pond is going to possibly fill up by spring. Whether that will hold through spring and summer next year, I'm not sure. Let's take a walk over to the standpipe so you can see that previous high water mark. So if you guys remember, we did a Memorial Day weekend video about camping back in the woods and coming here and enjoying the pond. We were swimming, kayaking, paddleboarding, all of that good stuff. And that was about the high water point of the pond was Memorial Day, the end of May. And if we come down here, we are getting dangerously close to that high water mark. If you look, it was right about just to where the water was coming up above where the standpipe protrudes out of the pond dam. So I'd say we are less than 12 inches from our high water point. and we still have to go through all winter and the spring thaw. So while it may not be full by spring, it's definitely going to be higher than it was last year. So that gives us some hope. One more thing I wanted to mention about the pond before we move on is over Christmas break, when we had that crazy cold snap of, -5, -10 degree weather, 30, 40 mile an hour wind gusts, the pond, I actually came out here, drilled a hole in the ice and measured how thick the ice was. We had 7 inches of ice, which is plenty safe to come out here and skate. You could almost bring the four-wheeler out there. Since then, like I said, it's been extremely wet. We've had 40, 50 degree days. Actually, I think 1 or 2 60-degree days. And that 7 inches of ice has completely melted, and it is just now starting to refreeze again. If you look, you can see it probably has just a skim coat, maybe a 1/4 inch of ice out there right now. So hopefully we start building some ice and can get out on it this winter for some ice skating, pond hockey, and some curling. Next on the update list is I wanted to talk about our firewood inventory. So this is the, 7 baskets that we made. There's 8 there on that day when we just took a full 8-hour day and did nothing but make firewood to see how much we could realistically make in one day. And then down here is the remainder of all the firewood that we have made. You might be wondering why I didn't grab one of these 2 baskets and just keep working in a single file line. Well, those 2 baskets are cherry firewood, and I actually have those already sold, just waiting until the customer has room for them. And then all this stuff, as we start working down, you can see the change in the color from extremely seasoned, and it starts getting lighter and lighter and lighter, to stuff that, was only split down here probably less than a month ago. That stuff there is over a year old. And yeah, I really don't have any wood seasoned ready to sell. People don't believe me when I say I charge $400 for a cord of wood and that I sell out every year. Proof is in the pudding. Here's all the wood I have for next year, and I guarantee you by November, it'll all be gone and sold. But yeah, as far as firewood inventory goes, we have a total of 24 baskets down here between this pile over here and that pile over there. If you're not familiar, each basket holds 1/3 of a cord of firewood. So if we have 24 baskets divided by 3, right now we have only 8 cords of firewood. We definitely need to get on production and get that number up. So Lana just got home from running some errands with Anderson, and this is the first time Anderson has gotten to ride his Jeep outside. I mentioned, over Christmas when he got the Jeep, it was -5, -10 degrees outside. Obviously, we weren't going to go out and run the Jeep then. Turn it on. That's pretty cool, huh? So today is the first time he actually got to ride it outside. One thing I will mention, he does not have any clue how to steer or use the pedals yet. The really cool thing about this Jeep is it has a remote controller, so I can override any of the controls he does from inside the cab. I can drive it, I can steer it, I can change the speed. And I also have a kill switch, so if he's getting too close to, let's say, the pond, I can completely bring the machine to a stop so he can't get himself into trouble. Now, as history tends to repeat itself, I actually had a red Jeep just like this when I was a kid. Obviously, back in the 90s, they didn't have the lights, they didn't have the radio or Bluetooth or any of that crazy stuff that this thing has. But it does make me feel good that my kid is getting a similar childhood experience to what I had when I was growing up. Can you tell everybody what you got for Christmas? Yeah. What'd you get?
Jeep.
Jeep, yeah. Is it fun? Yeah. All right, guys, so we are back here in the mudroom. We just got Anderson put to bed because, as many of you know, having a toddler doing any kind of photo shoot or video or anything like that could be a nightmare. And just trying to keep this one quiet for this little outro here is going to be a challenge. But yeah, I was just telling them that we're doing a lot of updates in this video. The garage, firewood, the mudroom that is now done. And one of the biggest updates that we haven't talked about since she was born is this little one here, Josie. So she's, what, how old now?
She's almost 7 weeks now.
Yeah, I think, what is that? That's pretty typical for the dad not to remember the birthdays and how old their kids are. Yeah. But yeah, tell the people, how are things going with the newborn and going from 1 kid to 2?
So, I mean, things are going well with her. She's great. She's a really good baby. I'm just trying to have to figure out how to handle having to and making sure I'm splitting my time is definitely a little bit of a challenge. But besides that, I think things are going okay.
So Anderson loves her. He loves his baby sister Josie. But he has definitely demonstrated some jealousy traits. I noticed there's been a lot more, when I'm going to do bath time routine with him and bedtime routine and all that stuff, we're getting ready to go up. He go, no, what does he say? No, Mama Mama take Anderson up.
Yes,
Or,
yeah, our Mama do it.
yeah, Mama do it. Mama.
Mommy, come upstairs.
So yeah, there's been definitely her time being split between Anderson and the baby. He has noticed it, and we have noticed it in his behavior.
Yes.
But yeah, she's been a really good baby. She sleeps a lot. Obviously, whenever I hold her, she cries, and so I'm always like, Lana, come take the baby. She's not happy.
Right. She's doing it again.
Yeah. I don't have the goods to keep her quiet. We're not bottle feeding right now, but you want to start doing that soon.
Oh, yeah.
She's doing everything throughout the middle of the night and all that, and that's her big push to start bottle feeding, is so that I have to start doing something at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
But yeah, you've been on maternity leave now you're about halfway through, 6-7 weeks.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the biggest update on the channel is this little nugget here. I was actually just talking to one of my old bosses at work. He retired a couple years ago. He watches the channel, and he said, "Was your baby born yet?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "You know what? You're right. We haven't put her on the channel yet. So here you go." I know some people might find this kind of video boring with kind of all just the background updates. A lot of the people that watch the channel, they like the projects, they like the equipment and all that stuff, but there are a handful of you guys that like the family side, the background, all that. So I guess this video is for those people. There's been a lot of people asking, how's the baby doing, that genuinely actually care. So this video is for those guys there. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed this one, give me a big thumbs up, click that subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.